Hello everybody and welcome to the first part of the career mode for Formula 1 2019's gameplay. We are here in Melbourne, Australia, and we're going to kick it off with free practice 1.
Welcome to Melbourne and the inaugural event of the F1 2019 Championship season. The session is starting shortly and there's a real sense of anticipation in the air. A feeling that anything can happen this year, and if it does, well, this weekend could be the opening chapter to one of the most exciting F1 seasons ever. Joining me in the commentary box is, of course, Anthony Davidson. And it's great to have you back again. What can you tell us about this year's roster? There are some new faces this year, aren't there?
Absolutely, Crofty. There's been a number of interesting signings over the last few months. Where would you like to start?
Let's talk about the Professor.
Right, well, this is definitely someone to keep an eye on. They'll be familiar to anyone who follows the Formula 2 Championship, where they performed extremely well last year. It's worth noting that their teammate in F2, Lucas Weber, is also making his debut in Formula 1 this weekend. Now, there was an incident where they went against their own team's instructions to let Lucas past. They apologised for it at the time, and it seemed as though there were no hard feelings. But it'll be interesting to see what kind of rivalry might develop now they're no longer constrained by driving for the same team.
Those two aren't the only new faces from Formula 2 this season, are they?
No, this season will introduce fans to George Russell and Lando Norris, two very promising young British drivers. Plus, we'll meet Alexander Albon from Thailand, and finally, Devon Butler. Now, Devon was a bit of a controversial figure in Formula 2 last year. He racked up a lot of penalties over the course of the season, including one where he collided with his closest rival. It was a nasty clip. Now, certainly after the event, they were nothing but professional in terms of how they spoke about the incident with Devon, but it's hard to imagine them being as polite about it behind closed doors. I think this rival will be one to keep an eye on over the next few races, as both drivers take their first steps into the world of Formula 1.
This first race of the season is always quite difficult for us trackside, and for those back at the factory as well, as it's the first time the car has run since winter testing. The more consistent mileage you can get in these sessions, the happier we'll be.
During your F1 career, you'll be able to utilise these sessions to complete practice programmes, which will help you learn the track and earn you points that can be invested in developing your car. You'll also be able to adjust your car setup over the course of these sessions to try and find those extra fractions of a second. The sporting regulations dictate that after each free practice session, you'll have to hand back 2 sets of your dry tyre allocation for the weekend, so get the most out of them while you can.
So let's dive straight into it then and do the track acclimatisation. Hard tyre run, 3 laps max. I think we'll drive out the pit lane as well. There we go. Ready to go.
All personnel be aware, car leaving.
First venture out onto the track in a McLaren. All looking good so far. Engineer gives the finger. We can go. Track acclimatisation program will start next lap. Right, 3 laps max. Highest score in the sectors will go. Just turn off the pit limiter. Which button is it? There we go. Different button to what it was last year on the steering wheel. Down to turn 1. Light on the brakes. All good. Right, here we go then. Open up the DRS. That's that tested. Start lap 1. 8th gear.
Try to nail as many corner gates as you can. The faster you get through each corner, the higher the score. DRS zone is coming up.
That was alright.
Ready to open it. Distance is on your MOP.
Oh, snap the DRS. Turn 3. One of my favourite corners on the circuit. Hard brake. Nice in. Oh, failed that one. Oh no, got a green. Don't like turn 4. It turns in and throws you uphill too much. Love 5. 5's my favourite. Turn 6. Drop down. 4th gear. It is a flowing circuit. A few hard stops, but yeah, it's a good little track. Tricky one, turn 9. Brake. Down 3rd gear. This is the first lap I've actually attacked on this game with this car. So I'm learning the car as I go. On with the wheel. 11. Break down a few more gears. Power to the exit. I'm so snappy with the DRS when I know it's coming up because it's just my left thumb that presses the button. Turn 13. I've gone a bit too deep. Although I seem to have nailed it. I thought I'd mess that up. Turn 14. Really messed that one up. Failed that one. Turn 15. Quite easy to get this one. Just second gear corner. Missed the apex. That was weird. Ace the last corner and to the line. And 400. Yeah.
Looking good. Now let's try for purple. You'll get a bonus for consistency if you can chain good corners together.
480 was lap 1 and perfectly executed as well. Right, lap 2 on now. Chained a few more corners, no one failed this time. This should be good. 530 across the line for lap 2.
Fantastic. You obviously have a really good understanding of this circuit.
I've played it God knows how many times. Right, one more lap then. Lap 3. I've done this track so many times, it's very easy to get it right. And so easy to get it wrong. 420.
We got some excellent data with that run, so come on back to the garage and I can talk you through the numbers.
Right, let's do tyre management next. Medium tyre, another 3 lap max. Go for a flying lap this time. And we're away. Down to turn 1. Got to beat the lap time by not letting the arrow above you go into the red. Got to keep it in the green or the purple while beating the lap time. So basically, qualifying run, but saving your tyres. Gently does it, not putting too much stress on the car, light turning, late acceleration, staying within the time. Quite an easy time actually, look at that, nearly 9 tenths up. Right, gotta concentrate. Hard on the brakes now, that's it, 3rd gear, not putting too much rev through, that's it, 6th gear, 7, just let it breathe ever so slightly. No reason to be in trouble with the car. It is a bit understeery though. I know that the game develops as you go along so that the car understands it as you drive it, but it is very, very tricky when the car's raw like this, no development whatsoever, not set up for you. It'll be better when we get to the race in Bahrain next time up in China, of course. Optimal tyre wear at the moment. Oh, presumably low tyre wear, wouldn't it? Would that be the same if I go for a qualifying lap? Well, 3 seconds worth of time. It's in the purple. We're going to the line. Nothing was going to change, so low tyre wear on this run. Ace. Right, got time for one more. The fuel management in this session. We'll go out on the medium tyre, a 3-lap run. Gearing up, 7th gear, and we're away. I'm already failing. This is the trickiest one to do, the fuel saving, because you've got to match the time at the target time, what is it, 1:35.885. You've got to match the time, whilst also delivering this fuel saving technique is very tricky. Failed the lap time miserably. Oh, can I get it across the line? We're in the green, but it's not looking good across the line. And the result is a good fuel save. Right, lap 2. Lifted and coasted like you wouldn't believe. The car beginning to respond to me, the tyres working. We're just on the cusp of an optimum fuel. I'm going to lift off. And we got it. Had to lift, but we got the time.
The session has drawn to a close, so let's review our top 3. Vettel, Bottas and Lewis Hamilton. And if today's practice is anything to go by, we're in for an exceptional weekend of Formula One.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it.
Ooh, there we go.
It's been a lot of hard work, but here you are making your debut in Formula One. You must be thrilled.
Yep, I'm thrilled, but this comes with a lot of pressure to live up to the teams and my fans' expectations. I think that's the best one. Selected.
So how are you finding things at the team? Are you settling in?
left. Yep, it's a struggle to remember so many new names, but they're making me feel right at home.
What are you expecting out of this season? Are you just aiming to find your feet in Formula One, or do you see something more?
Ooh, a little bit too Sherman. McLaren have put a lot of faith in me, and I'm going to bring them home the points.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Resource points, all good. Laps completed. Yep, all going well. What's the session total score? 335 and 2,085 in total. And the rep's gone up with every single team. I'm a showman, but still a rookie. Right, let's head in then to free practice 2. Right, let's get into free practice number 2 then. Another 45 minutes ahead of us, and to kick things off, because we've already done the track acclimatization, tyre management and fuel management, we'll do the ERS management first. A medium tyre selection, a 3-lap run in total, and let's just see how we go. Start the run.
ERS management test. Hit the target time whilst managing your battery charge. The more efficiently you use energy throughout the lap, the higher you will score. Remember that you can change your ERS deployment settings via the MFD.
Just keep them where we are at the moment. Let's just try and do it as well we can. Bit of a slide out of turn 3. So, 3-lap run to see how much energy you can do. Right now, the target is a good ERS management. Currently, we're just in the middle of that, but it keeps bouncing. Back off a bit there. I've switched it down to low. Still within the target time. 2/10 there about. Braking, cut the corner a little bit at turn 9. Still don't think anybody's watching, so we might just get away with that one. Turn 10, 11, 12, 13 segment now. Let's go through it. 6th gear. Light as you can. Turn the ERS deployment up a little bit because we need to get back in that target time. Drop it down to medium. Still in the green zone. 4th gear, very deep there. I'm trying to it's fiddling with all these controls at the same time. You can't focus on the driving. 1st gear, lighten it up. Well, got within the same 10th bracket. DRS open. Should be a good enough lap time. Cross the line. Optimal energy usage in the purple.
P1, you've just put in the quickest lap of the session so far.
And a nice little bonus there as well. On to the next one then. Race strategies.
Give us some consistent laps.
Here we
please.
go.
We're looking for good data that we can work into the race strategy.
Exactly that. 5 laps in total. Keep within the target lap time. And it's a race pace for the race. Coming to complete lap 1 then. 3 seconds ahead of the target time. Easily going to get those first 10 points. Lap 2 now. Car feels a little sluggish this time around, but I'm easily quicker than the 134. Been averaging 130s all weekend long. Across the line.
Okay,
20 more points. That's 30. Target met. And the extra 3 laps now. Target 50. And it's done. Optimal race pace. But with the option to do 2 more laps. And we're going to do it to get those extra points as well. And improve the data for the race so we can have a nice clean race. So currently we're at 50 points. Coming across then. This is going to be the extra 70. There we go. 70 points.
Great data. Stay focused.
One more run. I've made a mess of that final corner. 6th gear, 7th gear, across the line. 90 points and the times.
You're nearly out of fuel.
Optimal
Almost out
race
of fuel.
pace
You need
as
to pit
well.
within the next
Brilliant.
2 laps.
It's time to remind ourselves of our top three, who are Hamilton, Verstappen and Pierre Gasly. What an incredible practice session. The fun doesn't stop here though. Join us again as the rest of the weekend unfolds.
Good free practice too there then. A lot of race practice programs completed, extra 2. So only got one more left, the qualifying pace in FP3. 140 session total, not bad, 2,225 overall. Going well, reputation up with the teams as well. On to free practice number 3, which is just half an hour. One qualifying pace to do, and that's just a quick last round, and then we're done. On to qualifying, but first FP3. They are a bit too long, these cutscenes, aren't they? A sensor fault.
We've lost telemetry. We've lost pretty much all sensor information.
Oh, great.
It's being looked into now, so just bear with it for a few minutes if you can, please.
Problem fixed. And let's start the qualifying pace. 3 laps, max, on the soft tyre.
Tyres, just give it everything. In this test, we want to make sure we can lap close to our rival's pace.
Mess of that first corner. Keeping it up. Just trying to get to the fuel, so we can turn it up. 38% battery. It's not going to be a quick lap representative qualifying. Already down. Not as flat as I'd like through turn 6. I'm going to keep it nice and smooth. 3-lap run, of course, but in the previous game of F1 2018, if you've got the better run, you've got a purple lap time on the opening lap, you didn't need to do the remainder of the laps, so it did quicken things up, let's say, but this car, I felt like I've done it so many laps now. 3, yeah, fastest sector 2, so I've met all the team's objectives, so they're going to be pleased with that. About 14, 15 laps now already, so I feel like I'm comfortable with this. I mean, it takes 5 laps an average racing driver to get used to the track, and I've done 15, so I feel like I'm ready for qualifying. Saying that, the last corner could do with a little tweak. Still, nearly a second up, DRS open, to the line. Is this time quick enough? Yes, 9th! A 1:30, 6:51. I had 7th overall. Spectacular. Practice done. On to qualifying.
And with all the cars now over the line, let's see our top 3 again. Vettel, Bottas and Pierre Gasly. Sadly, it's time to say goodbye as free practice is over. However, we'll be back shortly for more Formula 1 action.
Bad luck out there today. Let's
What?
talk about it.
Why is it bad luck?
Are you hoping to have your reliability issues sorted out before qualifying?
Well, the only diplomatic thing in there is we're working as fast as we can only do so much. Oh, I've lost stickers.
You really went all out in practice today. Are you testing new components?
She's a very biased question, isn't she? On that first one. Well, it's really important for us to maximise the time on track in order to gain important data. So what I've lost in the decrease, I've got back up.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Don't like those biased questions though, because it could land you in a lot of hot water. Especially this early on. I've just come up from Formula 2 in the game. It's very early on. Disciplinary record. Oh, and it did decrease the rep. Let's do a mega qualifying then and see what we can get back from it. It's gone up though with Alpha, Racing Point, Renault, Mercedes, Ferrari and Rich though, so Williams and Toro Rosso don't want me, neither do Red Bull. Oh, isn't that gratifying to know? Need to get the rep up with the McLaren now. Close to that veteran, and closer to the sportsman as well. Still taking on the edge. Right, down into qualifying.
We're just about ready to kick off today's qualifying here in Melbourne. It's the Australian Grand Prix. Now then, Anthony Davidson, you're not getting any younger, but you have been involved in your fair share of qualifying sessions in an illustrious 30-year career. How do you deal with the pressure when you have that one chance to deliver a perfect lap?
It's not so much about dealing with the pressure, it's more about how you approach the risk and just how much of it are you willing to take. You're constantly balancing the car on the edge of grip from braking, cornering and traction. And over the course of a lap, it's easy to get that balance wrong. And that's why achieving the perfect lap is almost impossible. As you say, I've been doing this 30 years now, and it never gets any easier.
No, it doesn't, Antor Crofty. But let's get into it then. Park for me. Regulations are in. And let's get into this then. Qualifying. Number 1, 18 minutes. And all 20 cars out of the track. How am I going to find it? And away. Give a quick look at the pit wall. And the pit lane. And lap 1 is go. Aiming just to do 1 lap in Q1 and Q2. That'll give me the tyres. To do multiple runs in qualifying 3. Down now towards turn 3. Get that down to 3rd gear. It's clunk, 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 clunk. 5th. 6th. Lift a little bit. It's only quali 1. Why are we doing this on the soft tire? I don't know. We should really be doing this on the mediums. We've got the pace to get through, I believe, on the mediums, but the question is, have we got the pace to get through to qualifying 3 at all? And if that's the case, what tyre do we put on for quali 2? Do we put mediums on and risk not standing in the top 10? Or do we put the softs on and maybe not even get into qualifying 3, and then we've wasted a set of softs? If we do go into quali 3, then we've got a set of softs for the first part of the race. It's a very tricky situation, even this year, because the game, the rear tyres have dropped by 20 degrees. The game has actually represented that because it's so slidey the first time you get out, especially if you've got realistic steering on. It's just so slidey. Right, lap 1 to the line. Oh, there's our old friend Devin Butler from the previous video in Formula 2. But to the line. Cross it. 1:29.347.
Good job.
That's best for P8 then, overall. Right, quali 2. Starting the lap then in quali 2. Yet again, just 15 minutes, 15 cars. Got that corner very wrong on turn 2. Aiming again just to do 1 more lap. Put it on the softs this time. Look how much degraded they are. This is cost me. Finally get through it in this session. If I do, I've got worn tyres for the start of the race. What's the time then? Cross it. 1:28.878. P2 at the moment. Right, so I'm through to quali 3. I was 4th fast in that session. And everyone did go on the softs, so everyone's fine. Qualifying 3 is underway. Top 10 shootout. I didn't think I'd get here actually in the McLaren this early on, but this could be pole time. No, it's definitely not pole time. I've made a mistake in that opening corner. And, well, I want to do 2 runs on this tyre, so let's just see how we get it. But lap 1's gone, so we're going to have to do another lap. Seems to be good so far. Don't put it in 8th gear, drop down 6, get the power on. The car just wants to slide. It's so understeer, it's not set up right. I knew there was something I missed when we did practice. 4th gear. Power on. Hulkenberg 1:34.06. That's the fastest time. Drop down, 2nd gear. Leclerc 1:28.492. My Q2 time was in the 1:28s, the high 1:28s. Don't think I'm going to get it better here though. Forgot to turn up. Oh dear, 1:29.851. Well, a good first lap. Right. Put it down on lean because I've got an idea. If I can get it now, I could do 2 runs. I could. Turned it up now. I was so easy on that opening lap. Might just be able to do it here. Right, second attempt. What's the time? New soft tyres on. 1:29.035. Yes, P6 on the grid. That's good. I have been so careful with this car round that lap. I've got 1.18 laps worth of fuel. I've got Verstappen on me inside and I've hit him. That's the lap gone already, but I've got a lot of DRS to put. I've got a lot of fuel left. I'm so light. Tyres are fine. I've got an extra lap as the checkered flag is out. The car wants to slide. I'm already 3/10 down, and I've cut the corner. I've kept the lap. Oh, I've got some time back. I'm in the delta. 3/10. 10th or 2 down. Hamilton's fastest. He's got pole. 1:28.136. The car feels sluggish. I might just make it to the line. DRS. Oh no! I've lost the power. Oh, that was looking so good as well.
Nice job.
1:34.95 that lap, and I start P6 on the grid.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves of our top 3. Hamilton, Leclerc and Valtteri Bottas. With qualifying wrapped up, we now have our grid line-up for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race.
Not bad qualifying, not the best qualifying I've had. I'm leading the rivalry though. Out-qualified Lando Norris. Not bad. And I completed quali 1, quali 2 and quali 3. Fastest time in that session actually came from quali number 2 on 28.878. So proves to you how much the car wasn't ready for quali 3. Start P6 though. Got the reputation back up with McLaren as well, even more than what it was. Closer to veteran, and no change in the sportsman and showman battle.
Well
right.
Done. Very solid result.
Emma?
You're looking good for the race.
Right, let's check the emails, and then it's race time. I'm not going to do live commentary throughout the race, because I want to concentrate. So we'll do a live-ish commentary. I'll commentate on the race, but all looks good for the race. Let's dive in. The Australian Grand Prix. First off, it's David Croft. Your commentary comes from David Croft and Anthony Davidson.
New drivers, new cars, it's a new Formula One season. But it's the same Albert Park that we've come to know and love for more than 2 decades now that plays host to round 1 of a 21-race championship that takes us from here in Australia across the globe and the eventual season finale at the Yas Island circuit in Abu Dhabi. Just south of Melbourne's downtown business centre is the one and only Albert Park circuit. 3.3 miles of public roads, closed for the weekend of course, make for a bumpy circuit with little undulation. There are 16 corners around the lake and a couple of good passing opportunities here as well, thanks in part to the DRS zones into turns 1, 3 and 13. We have plenty of changes to the sport this year with tweaks to the regulations, a fresh-looking spread of tyre compounds, and of course some changes to the roster of car manufacturers. It's goodbye to Sauber and hello once again to the classic name of Alfa Romeo in Formula One. It's also goodbye to Force India. They've been rebranded as Racing Point. Joining me to take you through all the action of the 2019 Formula One season is Anthony Davidson. And it's great to have you with us.
Thanks, Crofty. Always happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to getting underway. Last year was Mercedes' 5th Constructors' title in a row, although for the first half of the season it was absolutely neck and neck with the Ferraris. Hopefully this year we can see the chasing pack take that final step, as I'd love to see a championship contest all the way up to the final race in Abu Dhabi. Another story to keep an eye on is the performance of Red Bull, who have switched to the Honda power unit this year. What that will mean for both their performance and reliability remains to be seen.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Bottas, Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel, the Professor, Gasly, Magnussen, Hülkenberg and Daniel Ricciardo, Norris, Perez, Romain Grosjean and Butler, Raikkonen, Weber, Alexander Albon and Antonio Giovinazzi. Kubica and George Russell ends our grid lineup. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Excellent job yesterday. We qualified above expectations. Let's go out there and put in a performance.
Right, so here we go then. Predicted race strategy. Well, this is the problem, isn't it? Do we go... well, why are the hards there? Because look, the strategy do the same. Right, I want medium, they're the fastest tyre. So, lap 1 to 6 will be on the softs. Lap 6 to 17 on the mediums, and lap 17 to 29 on the mediums as well. Predicted time, 43 minutes and 28 seconds. Obviously, the highlights that you're about to see are going to be shorter. But 29.5 laps of fuel, so that's half a lap extra of fuel as well. And it all looks good as we're about to start the parade lap for the Australian Grand Prix. A whole new territory then about to begin for you and for me. The first ever e-sport race, I suppose, I've ever commentated on. It is an e-race, it's an online game, but...
Go through all the gears if you can. We need to make sure the engagement is okay before the start. We're going to want to put some temperature into the tyres and brakes. We need to keep the engine cool though, so don't go too high with the revs.
Obviously, this is now pre-recorded material that I'm voicing after the race, but I can tell you everything that happened, and we've got the highlights reel as well coming up, and I've got a list of everything that happened right in front of me, so a detailed commentary analysis coming your way. I can tell you exactly what I was doing at this point. Turned off the ERS deployment to get the energy back up, kept the fuel mix where it was because I needed the engine to be hot enough so I could brake test the cars. Right, let's give you the rundown then of the grid. Row 1 sees Lewis Hamilton alongside Charles Leclerc. Row 2, Valtteri Bottas and Max Verstappen. Row 3 sees Sebastian Vettel alongside myself. Row 4, Pierre Gasly and Kevin Magnussen. And Row 5, Nico Hülkenberg and Daniel Ricciardo. Row 6, Lando Norris and Sergio Perez. Row 7, Romain Grosjean and Devon Butler from the Formula 2 part of this career mode. And then we get on row number 8, 15th, Kimi Raikkonen, 16th is Webber. Again, I keep doing it, don't I? Lucas Webber starts 16th. Row 9, Alexander Albon, Antonio Giovinazzi, and very true to life, row 10 sees George Russell and Robert Kubica at the back of the grid. Warming the tyres right now, got through all the gears, everything's ready, but you've got to remember the time that the switch off happens, because the games now don't let you pull up to your grid slot. It's an automatic changeover point. So, you can see a Ferrari and a Mercedes on the front row of the grid. And I start P6. Just turned up the RS deployment to high, so I can try and get a great launch as we are reforming for the start. The start then of a brand new career mode here on the YouTube channel. Let's hope we're going to bring a bit more activity to this field as well. It's the left-hand side for Hamilton, the right-hand side for Leclerc. On the front row over in front of me, it's Vettel on the left, I'm on the right, behind Gasly and Magnussen, Hülkenberg, and don't forget Ricciardo as well. Here comes the light sequence. We're away now for a brand new era. It's a good start, but the AI have got a better start as well. I've got Magnussen right behind me as well. Gasly has already got ahead of me. Going to lunge up the inside of Sebastian Vettel as well. Rubbing wheels already, but I've got ahead of Sebastian Vettel as we head down towards turn 3 on the first of this 29-lap race. Vettel's round the outside of me. Going to brake later. Going to get Verstappen as well on the inside. And now I've got Charles Leclerc, Bottas and Hamilton in front of me. So Leclerc didn't make a good start either, as I have got right ahead of two more cars ahead of me, and I got right ahead of Vettel and Verstappen as well. I see also that I'm creating a bit of a train behind me as well. The top 3 beginning to get away It happens on these games as well when the IAI set a bit higher up. Good start, but I've got the train behind me. Vettel looks a bit lively behind Verstappen, doesn't he? I've got a bit of breathing room. I think Gasly's having a go as well on Vettel. I dealt with him pretty quickly as well, so Vettel caught in a Red Bull sandwich. I'm now trying to chase down the top three as well, but also I was thinking at this point as well, don't spin the car, don't wreck the car, don't do anything that would cause a restart to the race. But I made a little mistake coming out of that turn, and I just allowed Verstappen to get the grunt on me, because it was Verstappen behind me now, not Sebastian Vettel. But the first lap completed, and it went pretty well. But Robert Kubica got a warning as well as he hit Romain Grosjean on that opening lap as well, as it was Hamilton with the fastest lap of the race. We've got Verstappen alongside me. He's going to dive to the inside. Vettel looks to the outside, cuts him off, and I managed to keep behind, also in front of Max Verstappen as well. Move on, still on lap 2 of the race though. Let's cut to lap 3 as well. We've got Vettel now up alongside me on the inside. Verstappen's dropped back a position, but Sebastian Vettel has gone ahead now into 4th place. So, it's already on lap 4. Vettel's ahead of me, and I've got to deal with Verstappen and Gasly right behind me. We've got the Renault there as well of Nico Hülkenberg. It's now lap 5 of the race, remember. So it's Vettel 4th, the top 3 still the same, Hamilton, Bottas and Leclerc. Vettel now 4th, I'm 5th, and Verstappen 6th. Coming into turn 13 of the track. All going well so far. Made a mistake in the exit of that corner. That's put Verstappen right around my outside. He's going to get the DRS as well down the start-finish straight. Pushing, keeping the power up. You can see that my ERS deployment's at 41%, but I can't lift off because Verstappen's got DRS. Later on lap 5 of the race though, Vettel's got ahead, and now I'm leading a truly train here at Melbourne Albert Park. We've got a little bit lopsided coming out of turn 12. That's going to allow Verstappen and Gasly to come up. It's 4 abreast, now 3 abreast. Hulkenberg looks up the inside. Hulkenberg dives to the position. Verstappen and Gasly make contact as well, so they have to back off a bit. And now Hulkenberg has got a warning as he hit Pierre Gasly coming into that last part of the track. So the Truly train already going wild. I've changed my strategy, so instead of coming on lap 6 to put on the medium compound tyre, I'm now coming in on lap 5 to put the medium tyre on. So I've let the Truly train go, and in for my first pit stop in Formula 1. Unlike with Vettel, they're actually there for me with the tyres. It's a smooth stop, 2.795 seconds. But I'm now stone dead last in this Grand Prix of half distance. It's 29 laps compared to the usual 53. One stop left in the strategy, but now we're back on and cooking as we chase down Russell and Albon. Albon dropped from 17th to 18th as well. Not a big drop, but he hasn't had a good opening 6 laps either as well. The top 3 though, still the same. So yeah, Hulkenberg got that penalty for hitting Gasly, remember? As we are going to head on to lap 7. Lap 9 at 29, but on lap 7, Kevin Magnussen retired from the race with an engine failure. A mechanical issue was the reason, as Lando Norris comes into the pit lane now. So our teammates in the pits, a number of cars making the pit stops. This is going to rocket me up at least into the top 10, as I've got a third of a lap of fuel and plenty of ERS as well. All going well as we start lap 10, and after that first round of pit stops at the moment, I am P10. Lando Norris got a penalty as well, so let's just take a look why this happened with our split screen. So this is Lando Norris with the Renault in front of Daniel Ricciardo. Lando pulls to the inside, Ricciardo chops him off, and they make contact. Does Lando get the move done? answer yes, and sizes him up as I go after Giovinazzi. But to me, that was very much Ricciardo cut off Lando Norris, so he shouldn't have got a penalty for that as well, as I chase after Antonio Giovinazzi, who's in 8th place. So I am in P9 on lap 11. And Giovinazzi hasn't stopped yet, so I'm on much fresher tyres than him. He's still on the soft compounds that he started the race with. I'm on the mediums, and will be for another 5 laps. Got a lovely exit out the last corner, and I've got the hot lap ERS on as well. I'm going to go for a move into the first corner, but it's a bit too late. Brakes too late, it goes too wide, and now it avoids the gravel trap. Skip across the grass, and Giovinazzi gets back ahead. But it's a long lap here at Albert Park as we start lap 12:29. So we head down towards turn 3, have a little bit of a look, bang wheels, it's fair, Robin is racing. Didn't spin the Giovinazzi off, so a good move there. But still behind him. For how much longer? I'm having to back up the pace a lot. Later on lap 12 then, Giovinazzi still ahead in P5 now. I'm in P6 as we got more positions back after the pit stop, but he's made a mistake coming out of that corner. Dive up the inside, great move, leave each other racing move, but Giovinazzi comes into the pit lane anyway. So it was a battle that didn't need to be fought, but it was certainly entertaining as we start lap 13 now of 29. I've got Hülkenberg bearing down on me. The two Renault engines, McLaren versus Renault now, fighting. Hülkenberg has caught me down on this 13th lap. He goes to my outside. I keep it in the inside. I determine the line. Side by side. Hülkenberg backs out. I get the move back. I stay in P5. But that is now giving Hülkenberg the wrong idea as we come to finish the 13th lap and start lap 14 and 29. Hamilton still leading. It's Leclerc second, Bottas third, Vettel fourth at this point in time. Let's have a full pit stop.
One stop left. Pit window will open in 3 laps time.
But doing that cost me time coming into the first corner because I had to change the dials. That put Hülkenberg right up behind me again. He goes to the outside coming into turn 3. I brake later, he has to back off. He's on a brand new set of the soft compound tyres. He's made his pit stop. I'm on the mediums that are a few laps old now, and I'm due to come in on lap 17. So he is actually faster than me at this point in time. Question is, can we keep him behind until I have to pit again? Well, 14 to 29, I pit lap 17. It's a big ask. Too deep. That's going to put Hülkenberg alongside, and it is, but just cut him off. Coming into the last 2 corners, turn 14 and 15 on the track. He's going to have DRS all the way down the start and finish straight, so I've really got to keep my wits about me as we start now onto lap 15 of the race. Hülkenberg's got the DRS. He's going to pull to the outside. It's going to be a sweep around. I've got the inside. They do touch, and I keep ahead of Hülkenberg as well. At this point I was thinking the AI is either improved massively from this year or it's up too high, but it is improved massively from last year as well. They really do attack and fight you now, so a real immersive experience in the new Codemasters game. And Charles Leclerc on lap 15 is out of the race with a mechanical failure as we battle with Nico Hülkenberg. We have a replay loading up in the VT. There's Charles Leclerc coming into turn 10. Out of the race, and let's see what happened with the split screen technology. So this is on lap 15, and just like with Kevin Magnussen, it's an engine failure, and that puts Charles Leclerc out of the race and promotes us up into, I believe, P4 before the pit stops begin. Charles Leclerc out as I'm up to P4 on that 15 of 29, but I've got Nico Hülkenberg right behind me. 1 lap later then, lap 16 of 29, Hülkenberg's caught the back up, but I've made a mistake into the penultimate corner, I slid the rears, the car, as I said earlier, the car just wants to slide you around, and that's put Hulkenberg right up my jumper, as he's got the DRS as well, trying to break the toe. Hulkenberg's going to launch it up the inside into turn 1, brake hard, and we touch, and Hulkenberg goes round. Hulkenberg round. He caught too much of the curb, he tagged me, and Hulkenberg round again. That was his fault, not mine, hence why I didn't get a penalty. But Hulkenberg round on lap 17 and 29 as I'm due to come into the pits. There's a little time coming into the pit stop here as we make our second scheduled stop off the mediums that we've had on since lap 6. On go a brand new set of the mediums. They're the fastest compounds to have on. This should take us to lap 29 and the end of the race. So that is stop 2 completed on lap 17. And so far, 2 retirements and a few penalties. Magnussen and Leclerc's out, and that pit stop's dropped me down to P12. Lap 21 of 29, the field has pitted for their second stop, and that has promoted me back up to P7. And I'm in a battle now with Kimi Raikkonen in the Alfa Romeo and our old sparring partner from Formula 2 of Devon Butler. And Butler driving a Racing Point at the moment, so it's a battle between Racing Point, Alfa and McLaren. Got a lovely exit coming out of turn 12. I've got the run on Raikkonen, going to pull to the inside. He nearly puts me into the wall, but I'm not going to leave it there. I've got the better speed, so I launch up the inside. Raikkonen backs out, leaving each other plenty of room, as you can see on the aerial view. But now I've got Devon Butler just in front of me as well. And what do you do? Pull to the outside, slight contact. Can I make it through? Well, we bang wheels. I get ahead, but Butler's got the DRS. Let's go. Full third vision. Butler pulls to the inside line. Raikkonen's there as well. Raikkonen backs out. I'm going to send it right around the outside of Butler, and we make contact. Wheel to wheel, but I've got to get back ahead of Butler now. Raikkonen backed out of this party, but Devon Butler is in P5, and that's where we need to be. Beat Butler and beat P5. I'll line him up as we come through the car park section of the track, past the tennis centre, the equestrian centre, down now towards turn 6. Heavy on the brakes. Butler has the speed and has the power, so it wouldn't be surprising if he has the advantage. Back on board now. And twice the onboards on lap 22. Giovinazzi has got a warning as he hit Verstappen. I just hit Butler once again, a little bit of rubbing, and I got a warning for that as well, for hitting Devon Butler. Right, lining him up then to the line. Lap 22 of 29. We're getting to the business end of this race. For 1P5, I've got to get past Butler. Albon's just ahead of him. Going to pull to the inside at a place where you don't usually overtake. I've managed the overtake, slipping up the inside. It's going to cover off the entrance into turn 15. But a brilliant other part of the track. Full opposite lock. Got to defend. He's got DRS, but so have I. Lap 26 to 29. 3 laps to go. I've left behind Devon Butler, and Albon went into the pit lane. So I've now got Pierre Gasly directly ahead of me for 4th place. Can I steal 4th away from Pierre Gasly and be best of the rest, as it's McLaren, it's Mercedes up front with Vettel, and I've got ahead of Gasly.
Good job, nice overtake.
And I'm up to P4. I'm ahead of the Red Bull Honda. Fantastic. We're already a lot better than what we did at the Austrian Grand Prix when Red Bull won. So, not bad. The last lap of the race then. 29 long laps. Alexander Albon has got a penalty, a warning for hitting Giovinazzi on lap 26. But right now, it's all going the way for me. P4, higher than we wanted. We only wanted P7 in this race. P4 result. But Lewis Hamilton, pole position, led the race from start to finish. Hamilton wins in Australia in the first race of this career mode. Valtteri Bottas finishes in second. Sebastian Vettel comes home in 3rd place. So that's the top 3 locked out of the podium. I can't do any better. So I've got 2 minutes and 40 seconds to get round. Gasly's about 5 seconds back. Vettel already in 3rd. It's P4 for me. I just got to lead it home for a fantastic opening career mode. A lot of penalties, a lot of drama, but a stellar opening career mode certainly has given me the taste to do a lot more. Out of the last corner then, started in P6, was 20th at one point, and in my first race for McLaren, I get up to P4. Fabulous.
Well done, good finish. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
That's it for another Grand Prix and a fantastic win for Mercedes. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, tyre management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes. Let's have a look then at the drivers' standings. Lewis Hamilton takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
Well, after a drive like that, it's got to be Devon Butler, hasn't it? Confident, aggressive. You could see how hungry he was for every position he took today.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes move to the top of the table. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
So I finished in P4 and Lando finished P9. Not a bad result then. On now to what I presume is the interviews of this game.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts.
Okay.
You've had experience with Devon's fast, aggressive style. Any advice for the drivers he passed today?
He left. You have to be as determined as he is, and it helps to have a great car you can rely on. That's definitely sportsmanship. And McLaren's rep is increased.
You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled.
I couldn't do this without a great team behind me. I think that's the obvious answer, isn't it? Because that's the only one that's what increased the rep, and sportsmanship increased.
You scraped the walls a few times. Were you struggling for grip?
Oh, well, those cars are obviously biased, so I'm not sure what happened, to be honest. Oh, that's decreased as well. That must be a glitch.
Appreciate your time.
So, race 1 complete. Finished the race, finished in position, didn't get the podium, but penalty free and fastest lap as well, compared to Lando Norris. I'm leading that rivalry as well. And this is the resource points, so I should have a few more. 100% clean lap as well. 243 fan session, 2,723. And the rep increased for every team, even McLaren. So, not a bad way as well. Getting close to the veteran and close to the sportsmanship as well.
Excellent result today. Finishes like that will look good on your contract reviews. On to the next one.
Next one is Bahrain
You're not the only
as
driver to
well.
be hounded by the press. Emails like the one I've just sent you will give you an insight on how your former Formula 2 rivals are handling the press. Be sure to check your emails regularly, as I'll be sure to send you any of the more, let's say, interesting press transcripts that come my way. Looks like one of your rivals is also going to an upcoming historical event. If you choose to take
here we
them
go
on,
then.
it might help get your name out there a bit.
So, do we want Pursuit or Checkpoint Challenge? British Grand Prix track. First of all, emails. Met the race targets, very satisfied. Yep, the car needs more grip, so we'll do some R&D as well. We'll have that in the build up to Bahrain. Invitational event. And the press interview. Ah, Butler! Oh, look at that. You should never underestimate the underdog. I'm here to grind my way to the top. I just hope the fans enjoy the show. They won't get to every day. Yeah, he's very much a showman, isn't he? And he still doesn't think Perez is any good. Oh, I don't, do you know what? They've made Devin Butler very hateable, and I think that's an interesting thing. Who would you say he's more like in the F1 grid of 2019? Is he his own character, or are there a few on the grid that remind you of him? There's certainly a few that spring to mind that he could be like. Not naming names or anything, but there are a few that do spring to mind. Right! What's next? It's Checkpoint Challenge, but for now, it's goodbye.